Welcome to my channel, Learn and Earn, to live your life on your own terms.
Vodafone making a loss of unprecedented 50,900 crores. It is unbelievable to even think a company which was once the top telecom companies in India has made a loss of 51,000 crores. And it's not Vodafone, Airtel 23,000 crores, Reliance Com 30,142 crores. Now, all the major players in the telecom industry have almost collapsed and come to a brink of bankruptcy. Why is this happening? In fact, why it has happened? Is Vodafone going to close its business in India? Now, Vodafone's top management has cautioned the lenders that timely repayment may not be possible without urgent relief from the government. If the telecom department decides to invoke bank guarantee to recover the dues in the next 3 months, people familiar with the market have already given this. Now, what does this mean? Now, Vodafone has certain bankers through whom they have lent money. They have borrowed money from these banks. Now, these banks would be expecting the repayment. But now Vodafone says that it may not be in a position to make the repayment. So again, it will impact the banking industry. It will be an economic crisis. We have recently heard about the NBFC crisis. Now it's telecom crisis. And this is going to have huge repercussions in the market. Now, what does Vodafone look forward to? It is looking forward to state support, that is government support. The telecom company is planning to sell its data centers as well as optic fiber network to raise funds. Now, banks with high exposure to Vodafone have already met the management, and the Vodafone has categorically said that may not be in a position to pay the dues if Department of Telecom decides to invoke the bank guarantee. Now, this is going to be a major crisis for the country. And I'm sure the government is certainly going to take some action. Otherwise, it'll be a mess. Vodafone leader, Vodafone Idea Limited, which posted a record September quarter loss of 50,921 crore, has a debt of about 1.02 lakh crore. Now, most of this debt is to the government, which Vodafone has to pay to the government of India in the form of spectrum and interest payments guaranteed by banks. Now it is now facing additional statutory dues worth more than 44,000 crores in license fee, spectrum usage charges, interest and penalties which need to be paid in less than 3 months. Now this has come after the Supreme Court October 24th ruling which talks about adjusted gross revenue AGR. Now can you imagine a company wherein it has to pay 1.02 lakh crore of debt, it has declared 50,921 crore of loss to come back? It is impossible. Now let me talk about the bankers who have given money to a Vodafone. And these banks would be definitely losing their money. SBI 11,200 crores, IndusInd Bank 3,000 crores, ICICI Bank 1,700 crore, HDFC Bank 500 crores. Other major banks who are the lenders, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda. Now this is going to be massive. Already the banks are reeling under a lot of NPAs. Now with this crisis, the banks will have additional debts as NPAs because there is no way Vodafone is going to be in a position to pay this debt anytime within next 3 months. Now Vodafone, in which Idea, the telecom provider, has been merged, they may have only few months before its auditors decide on the health and comments on whether the firm intangible assets such as goodwill should be written off. Another telecom giant, Reliance Communications, RCOM, has posted a consolidated loss of 30,142 crores for the second quarter after provisioning of statutory license fees and spectrum usage charges. And this is the second worst loss in the history of corporate India. Can you imagine 2019? These companies are making such huge losses. What impact it will have on Indian economy? Vodafone 51,000 crore loss, Reliance Com 30,000 crore loss, Airtel 23,000 crore loss. Now this will be lost to the banks, and these banks are responsible for running the economy. What will the government do? That's a big question. Now, the company has said that its ability to continue as a going concern is dependent on getting relief. Now, Vodafone and all the companies who are facing tremendous loss, Reliance Com and Airtel, they expect the government to give them relief, including a waiver on interest, penalties on AGR, lower tax and levies, and moratorium and spectrum payments. It also hopes for a positive outcome from the proposed review of the Supreme Court ruling, failing which a curative petition can also be filed before a five-judge bench that may be different from the bench that delivered October 24 judgment. The company has said that it has already set aside 25,680 crore for the additional dues, widening its quarterly loss the highest in corporate India history. Its revenue for the quarter ended September was rupees 10,440 crores, with an operating income of 3,347 crore. Now, this is a serious crisis which I'm sure the government should be in a position to manage. Otherwise, it'll be a massive, massive disaster. Now, the banks have lot on stake. Now, the companies would want the banks also to help them. But how can the banks help them? First, Vodafone needs to talk to the government. And after they fail to accept the demands of the company, probably then the bankers may formally write to the ministry to take its case because the exposure is huge. It is going to have huge repercussions on Indian economy. Providing relief from the judgment is very much in the hands of the government because the government has won the case. And seeing a win-win situation, the government should act in the overall interest of the economy and the consumers. The government was aware of the stress. In fact, it is also aware of the debt of 7 lakh crore. And these three big telecom companies are crippling and gasping for breath. I think the government should definitely take note of this and should think of reviving these three telecom major giants. And we all know why this has happened. This has happened because of the intense competition which has come in the market after Reliance Jio has come into the picture. And it's very, very difficult for all these three companies to sustain itself. And I'm sure in the days to come, there'll be only one major player in the telecom industry, which is Jio, which is again going to be not good for the consumers because we as consumers will have less choices to make. And again, a monopoly of one particular service provider will be there, which is definitely going to harm the Indian economy. Thank you.